Don't go crazy. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to The Clutch. My name is John. I'm here with a very good friend of mine, Mr. Adam. I'm going to fuck this up because I always do. Halbleib.
Yeah, close enough.
Halbleib? How do you say it?
Really. It's Halbleib.
Halbleib?
Halbleib, yeah. Like
Halbleib. Is that
German?
German?
Yeah.
That's not angry enough to be German. I think you're like
Halbleib. You gotta say it like that.
Oh, Lord. Lots of crazy history with this guy.
Oh, yeah. Lots of reptile show shenanigans.
Lots of reptile shows, lots of travel, couple of different shows here on YouTube together. Yeah, just good mix. We used to have beards together and really cool hair, but Adam decided to be fucking business guy again. Like, who fucking does that?
What's up, Austin? Also, face is so naked.
Too naked. So just tell us a little bit about who you are and what brought you into reptiles, brother.
Sure, no problem. BeachBum Xotics is my Instagram account, kind of company name. Adam Halbleib is my full name. Messing around with ball pythons and super dwarf reticulated pythons. That primarily. Don't really have anything else right now. Eventually would like to get some lizards, frogs, some cool stuff like that. Once life, maybe with a day job and doing reptiles, I have to be realistic about kind of what I can keep and everything. And, I want everything, how it is being a reptile enthusiast. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Been messing around with ball pythons now for about 10 years. Yeah, 10, 12 years. Only been breeding for about the last, about 4 years or so. 5 years. Yeah.
I was going to say, I've been around, I think 4 years. I can't even fucking remember.
Yeah.
I think like 4 years. So I know you were breeding before I came into the game.
Yeah, I think like a year or two. So maybe 5, 6 years, right around there. I ended up keeping them for like about 5 or 6 years before I decided I was going to breed and start buying a bunch of them and all that. So,
and you took a unique approach, at least in my eyes, because you see a lot of people go, not that you didn't go recessive, but you went a route that a lot of people didn't go initially with your snow project. A lot of people go clown or pied or those fancy, super fancy looking right off the bat. Not that snow isn't a spectacular morph. I'm not gonna shit on snow. You know what I mean? I might pee on it a little bit. I'm not gonna shit on it though.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. So when I very first started learning about the morphs, pastels and bumblebees were the it morph, and clown and Xotics couldn't even touch them really. Like, not a lot of people were messing with them. And I really liked white snakes, blue-eyed Lucy's being very popular coming out and stuff. So I thought to myself, well, double recessive and it's a white snake with red eyes. That sounds pretty dang cool. I mean, in all honesty, if I had to give myself advice, my 10-year back self advice, I wouldn't probably recommend shooting for snows on the very first project you're going for. It's kind of a dead end, right? Once you make it, what are you going to do? So, and they are cool. I like them. I like Xotic. I like albinos. And I'm even trying to do something a little different with it now. I'm bringing Inchy in to maybe see if Inchy can bring some yellow pattern back to it, like counterintuitive to trying to make white snakes initially, now trying to bring pattern back. But so is the world these days. Everything's opposite, Phil. So I want my white snakes not to be white snakes.
That's the way the world is. Right. I got what I want. No, I don't want it.
Right.
So you went with snow. I know you went off of that really heavy in the start. We had a lot of conversations about snow. What started branching you off of that project?
So kind of realizing like there wasn't really many avenues to go with the snows. I've always liked like clowns, so I was watching those, but at that time they were very expensive. So, you know, it wasn't really something that, and also, you know, ball pythons were my first, I don't know how do you say it, but like I hadn't really spent a lot of money on animals prior to ball pythons, right? So the idea of dropping $600 on my, you know, an albino het xanthic to me was huge. And like, I was like, I'm never spending any more than that. Like, I can't believe it. It was very hard to swallow at first.
The price for a snake is astronomical. What the fuck?
Right. And, yeah, and so I wasn't really seriously looking at some of the other more expensive morphs at that time. I wasn't really at that area or, you know, in that headspace of spending money like that. So I started looking at like some Blue-Eyed Lucy stuff, and not a lot of people were working with the Russo. So I thought, all right, hey, Russo would be pretty cool. I bought a pair of those, produced some white diamonds. And then I thought, all right, I need to, once I started getting more serious, I was like, I actually really need to pick a recessive, and everything had kind of come down in price where it was more realistic. So instead of going clowns, puzzles were coming out at that time. Mm-hmm. And so I thought, all right, let me try.
Well, that's super realistic. Go to puzzle, which is like,
I know, right? Well,
one of the highest recessives right now.
Totally. Well, that was right when I made that decision of, all right, I'm actually going to spend some money. Where is it going to be? Right. And I was like, everybody's doing clowns. I'm like, I would like to do something a little different. That is manipulating the pattern. I always liked the wonky pattern stuff. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of how I jumped to the puzzles. And from that, then that expanded my horizons on what can I add to puzzle? What can I do here? What can I bring in? So,
okay.
Yeah.
So you went heavy into puzzle. Was there a specific goal when you first started? Like, obviously, when you started your breeding projects, you started with snow, so you had a set goal. Was there something that you kind of created as a pinnacle for yourself with puzzle when you first started out? Like, I will make this snake this specific combo. Or was it just, let's see where I can take it?
A little bit of both. I mean, definitely there wasn't. I mean, I love the super pastel puzzle. The pastel puzzle just was awesome itself. There hadn't been anything produced that made my jaw completely hit the floor, like some of the clown stuff that had been produced at that time even was very jaw-dropping. But I saw the potential in puzzle, and I knew it was in there. So that's why I really wanted to explore it, was because I hadn't seen a lot of morphs produced with it, but I really liked what it was doing to the pattern, changing it overall. And so that's why I was just kind of like, yeah, this is going to be cool once we can hit that exact morph or multiple, right? To start the ball rolling, get people really going for it. So,
there you go.
Yeah.
Now, how... because everyone's program's a little bit different. And I know you're one of the people that, I'm not going to say regularly does breeder loans, but you have certain people that you trust and you're working projects with, that you do breeder loans with. Is there a certain way that you set those up, or is it just based off of time knowing that person? Is there contracts? Like, how did you fall into that or into those scenarios?
Sure. Yeah. The very first one that I did with Randy from Dark Cloud Reptiles, and him and I had vended a couple shows, become good friends, got to know each other quite a bit. So that breeder loan, he basically, he needed to free up some space at his place, and I wanted some more females at the time. So, worked out mutually beneficial. We just did a really loose kind of agreement. I would probably really not recommend how him and I have done it and continue to do it, to somebody else unless you really know that person. And even then, maybe it's probably not the best idea to kind of do it like we do, right? But so we 50-50 our you know, our clutches. If it's my male and the male is obviously more of a powerhouse, we've agreed like I get first choice, he gets second choice if we're gonna kind of keep something back. But you know, if he was like, wow, I really, really have to have that, you know, the snake that you want, like I gotta have it, right? I'm sure him and I would work something out. We're not, neither one of us are really those types of guys where it's like my way or the highway, give it to me now, and we're never gonna talk again. So I don't really foresee it falling, you know, apart or anything like that. And open communication as well, letting them know what's going on. For example, the move really, really killed my season last season. So a lot of the females that I got from him 6 months prior to that have actually been over here for 18 months and haven't produced anything yet. But we're talking about it. We know. And, you know, if this season, if they don't end up going, maybe some of them go back to him, you know, that type of thing. Yeah. And then the stuff with Miguel, again, no contract, and I don't really recommend it, but I knew Miguel very well. Him and I started buying animals within the puzzle project around the same time with the same people. And so we just ended up saying, well, hey, why don't we invest in this hypo puzzle male and some females together? And let's just run a project with that male. Whatever we produce with him is basically 50-50 type of agreement. So, yeah. Yeah.
And then you said you recently just moved. Like I remember when you were down in Ventura. Right? Ventura.
Yes.
Ventura,
yes, still in
Ventura. I don't know how to say that.
Ventura. Oh, this way. Ventura. I gotta move my head that way. Point this way.
The hair's blocking it. That Jersey boy hairdo. No,
that's it. Jersey boy. I heard
did
that.
You guys did you guys, because I know at one time you were talking about like picking up the house and moving it. Is that what you guys ended up doing, or
we ended up staying in Ventura. We moved like a mile up the road or so. You know, not very far, but we were really close to the beach before, and now we're like a mile away. And I don't really know. I highly doubt like moving up the hill a couple 100 feet, the barometric pressure difference like ruined the animal's chances or something. I just think it was like the shift of moving them from one place to the other.
Stress.
Yeah, I think so. So that kind of reset my year. I only got 2 clutches here at the house. So I blame the move. I have no idea if that was really what it was or not, or if I just really sucked that year at breeding ball pythons. So
hey, I mean,
never know. This year's looking much better.
Oh Lord. We won't go there. I don't need to open up any old wounds. Dude. No, but it seems, even with it just being a mile though, like pulling them out of what they were used to at the time and moving them, even if it's that little bit, I feel like that's probably enough. Like we use stress for a lot of things, but that could have thrown off eating, that could have thrown off all kinds of things. So
yeah,
which inevitably destroys follicle growth. So
yeah. I mean, I had a bunch of females that I know I saw ovulations, different signs of going and everything, and then they didn't. So, and that coincided with the move. This year, though, it's looking pretty good. Got 2 clutches on the ground so far, and I've seen about 10 other girls ovulate. So if I get 12 clutches this year, I'll be very happy.
So where are you at right now? Like as far as number of animals?
I have about 35 breeder size females. And about, let's see, 10 males. So that's probably like the core group of breeders that's going on. And then I have another probably 40 animals behind that are growing up and or to be sold. So I hover right around that 70 to 90 range, depending on baby season or not. Uh-oh, Mrs. BeachBum's here.
The only time we see Heather when Adam's showing his face. I'm just kidding. Oh, I love Miss BeachBum.
Underworld.
That's good, man. That's, I mean, you keep it manageable. I don't think a lot of people get the aspirations to turn this into full time, and when they do that, they don't realize that they're working a full-time job on top of it, and so when they try to turn this full time, they get overwhelmed. And you've been able to kind of grow at your own pace, still create some amazing animals, and do it comfortably.
Trying. I mean, last year, trying to do the YouTube full-time job, running the collection, moving into the house, it for sure got a little overwhelming. Had to take a step back. That's one of several reasons why Joel and I haven't been doing our show anymore. I just, for myself, I had to rebalance.
Right.
Had to, basically, by being so busy for me, it was taking the enjoyment out of it for me. So like feeding time or cleaning or anything, it was kind of like, oh, I gotta go do this or I gotta go do that. And I was like, wait a second, I didn't get into this to do something I don't like doing. And I do enjoy spending time with the animals. So what's going on? And ultimately I was like, I need to take a step away from YouTube for right now, rebalance other aspects of my life that I really enjoy doing. And maybe if YouTube works out again, him and I will start doing the channel, but we'll see. Ball and chain, Austin. Dude, actually, I gave that to Wade. I'm going to be straight up honest, Austin. I gave it to Wade. just like a couple months ago. I held your 1-1 pair forever, but I'll hook you up, bro.
Dirty.
I will. Dirty. I
know. So let's jump back a little ways. Going back to the super shows. Can you discuss kind of what your thought process is going into a show? Like
vending it or attending?
Are attending.
Okay.
Like when you're attending, are you looking to buy at shows? Are you just looking to see what people are creating? Or do you go in with that mindset that I'm not going to buy, but if something catches my eye, then I have to have, then it's there?
Well, Mrs. BeachBum's here, so
tell the truth. Tell the whole truth. Where's the Bible?
Where's it? Make them swear. So honestly, it's really funny. Before every reptile show, I tell her I'm not going to buy anything, and I have no plans on buying anything. But inevitably, I do. It's a
curse,
right? I guess it kind of depends on the show and time of year. Yeah, like if it's around like October, Tinley, that's a lot of fun to go to and make some good deals on some animals and stuff like that. That it's also like kind of an odd time for the season because technically it hasn't started quite yet. So you're catching some of last year's stuff a little bit. Right. So, but yeah, I don't know, man. I don't have a game plan. I guess I just go to the show to meet people and like hang out. That's my main deal. And if I see an awesome animal, then definitely got to get it. But shows are good places. I mean, you could definitely find some steals at the shows. A lot of guys don't want to pack out what they packed in. So, right. You know what I mean? To a certain extent, so.
You just said, wait till Sunday, watch the deals.
Right, no. Actually, that's backfired on me more times than not. I'll find an animal like, oh yeah, this one's awesome. Well, duh, if if I think it's awesome, there's probably at least one other person out there that thinks it's awesome too, and they're probably going to buy it, right? So if you think it's awesome, buy it right away.
Do you buy with your eyes, or do you buy from possibilities?
Well, so I used to buy more with my eyes. Now I buy specifically for the project or how it's going to parlay into the project.
Ooh, I like that word. That was well done.
You like that?
Are you drinking rum right now? Are we going into pirate mode?
Pirate eye. No, I'm not drinking rum.
Parlay. That was a good one. Oh man. So out of the shows, you've been to I know you do the Super Show, Tinley. You've been to Arlington before, I believe. No,
never been to Arlington. So I've really only done the California shows and Tinley.
Okay.
Yeah.
What would you say is like the main difference? I think I haven't been to Tinley in like a fall show. I don't know. If I went to Tinley, it was like back before it was the number one thing. It was like when I was a teenager. So I don't think, probably never have been to Tinley, honestly.
Yeah. Tinley was pretty big for sure. It was definitely bigger than the biggest Pomona, but not by much. Like Pomona's big January show, that one that they go, massive for. Mm-hmm. The last Tinley that I was at, they were about comparable. Tinley still being a little bit bigger because they had to push into the overflow and into some other rooms and stuff like that. Amount of people probably about the same. Maybe Tinley pulling in a little bit more just because of real estate, but they're fairly comparable. I will say though, difference between East and kind of West Coast are the different breeders, right? I'm used to all the California guys and who's going to be there. So going out to Tinley, it is fun because it's a bunch of breeders that I don't really regularly see. So that aspect is really cool. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. But I think they're both pretty good. I want to go to Daytona. I think that would be fun just for, just kind of just to do it. Cause I used to be the awesome
Well, you have
show.
that. And then you have Iguanaland right there. And you have, what is it?
There's Gator World.
Gator World. That's what I was. Yeah. That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Like, what is it called?
I pulled it out of your mind.
So there's all kinds of reptile stuff to do down there, and then there's obviously lots to do in Florida that is not just reptile related, but do you tend to see, like, I've kind of noticed, like, when I'm in California, a lot of people have a lot different projects than what people in the Midwest are working, or like what people on the East Coast are. It's kind of like who's working around you, what you're
kind of getting
your collection seems to focus on.
For sure. Hang out with all the Cubans, Austin, down in Daytona. Yeah, I mean, definitely it's regional, I think. And like you pointed out, I think it's because people local around you end up talking with them a lot more. Guys are kind of doing deals on the back end of, oh, hey, I just produced this and you want to trade for this real quick, stuff like that. So yeah. And, that was something though, I think I set out right away though, too, was I didn't want to just be buying from local guys because of that exact reason. I'm like, well, if they're producing this stuff, I buy the same stuff they're producing. We're all going to be producing the same things, so what isn't somebody working with? And yeah, and there again was kind of the puzzle. I was like, all right, it seems like this has potential. I'm going to go that route. So
nice.
Yeah. And Desert Ghost too.
How do you choose your projects now? Like, you talked about how you like the really wonky patterns, but how do you choose like what you want to add in, what you don't? You're obviously working multiple double recessive projects right now. So how do you kind of decide what to add or to take away from that project? Because a double recessive takes a crap ton of space to really do properly, or at least the way it's been explained to me. I don't know. I'm trying it for the first time this year, so I'll find out the hard way, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, that definitely running recessives does require space, right? And I do have to assume I will expand larger than what I am currently. I don't really want to ever go over probably 150 animals. I believe that's kind of the mental cap that I've placed on it right now is 150. And that'll allow me to run some of these projects, recessive, double recessive, and things like that. But I try and choose my projects today thinking what's going to make the best looking adult, because it really irritates me looking at some of the adult pictures and you can't tell the difference between 90% of the animals out there. They almost all start looking the same as an adult, right? And they start losing a lot of their vibrance and things. So, you know, bringing in that good contrast and things that get nicer as they go. For me, that's something that I've changed in how I buy animals and how I look at the projects. Probably the last like 3 years that I've really been focused on what makes the best looking adults and going for that.
Now, are you shooting with, when you say that, are you shooting at just morphs, or are you breaking it down to like the lines of morphs?
You mean like different lines?
Like when you're looking at like pastel, there's what, like 3 to 5 different lines of pastel.
Right.
Fire, there's multiple lines of fire. So
yeah, you know, I do have a little bit of a hard time living and dying by the whole line thing, right? For one, we have no pedigrees in this hobby. So tomorrow I could tell you my snake was produced by Greg Graziani, original badass pastel. You have no way of ever knowing. Right. Reach out to Greg. Greg's probably not going to have sales from 10, 12 years ago. He's not going to know. Anyhow, right? Not to say that it's not important and that there are ethical people that track their lines. And if that's something you're into, totally cool. But I've seen great examples in just about every single different line out there. Do some produce maybe more consistently better animals? Maybe, but I don't know if that's a line thing. More or less, that was an awesome animal you bought, right? So when I'm out looking for a pastel and I see 2 animals, I'm just going to be grading that pastel. I'm not going to be grading if it's this line or that line and then purely going off of that, right? Like, for example, like the citrus pastel stuff looks pretty dang cool. Mm-hmm. I love it. I've seen a lot of awesome animals out there. But if you showed me an animal equally as awesome as it and it wasn't labeled citrus pastel, I would buy it as well, type of thing. Yeah. So that, I mean, now, are there certain people that do produce like cinnamon and black pastels, right? You could definitely tell there are some lines that do a lot of lateral striping, and there are other lines that are a little more donut hole and like, you know, more separation on the pattern. So maybe go with whatever you're shooting for, right? Like right. If you want something that's going to give nice wide dorsal, like the side pattern there, pick an animal that looks like that. But don't pick it just because this says it's a Barnhart, you know, animal for black pastel, or it's whatever, you know. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So what's exciting you? Sorry. What's exciting you right now? Like what's making Adam happy to be in breeding ball pythons?
Well, the double recessive clutch that I produced, kind of building my army like you are for clowns, this last clutch really did excite me. Like it was a dark morph that's double het for desert ghost and hypo, and it was a cinnamon het red xanthic spot nose female bred to a hypo desert ghost male. So no normals out of the clutch. And for sure, let me see. Actually, I'll grab her. She was looking pretty cool. I posted her just the other day, but let me try and see if I can get a good shot for you guys, sir.
this guy. Oh, I'm excited to have Adam on. If you guys haven't really checked him out, make sure you go check him out. Obviously, his YouTube stuff's on here. Like he said, things are kind of going on, so we're gonna push his IG out later. I kind of ran out of time because I'm a bad friend to get all his links up, but we'll get them up there for y'all.
Let's see. Once I get close, I'm gonna have to refocus back in. Bummer.
Just cover your face. It's okay.
I know, right? I don't know if you could see her. She's kind of small here.
A little bit.
Yeah. If you brought up my Instagram.
Hold on. Wrong one. No. Focus on. Damn it. Stupid. There's got to be. How do you do it? There's got to be a way to.
Just do.
There we go.
Yeah, there you go.
That's better.
Yeah, there we go. So this is what I believe to be a spot nose het-retic xanthic.
Nice. And then that's double het, hypo, and DG, right?
And DG. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So the spot nose this one was pretty obvious. Just you could really see the head pattern. Okay. It's not used to being on camera anymore. Yeah, but anyhow, it has that classic spot nose kind of stamp and everything, and then the het-retic xanthic coming through.
That's pretty, man.
Yeah, Corey Woods was who inspired me kind of to go down this path. He's been doing a lot of cool stuff with the het-retic xanthic, so I like the silver stuff.
I've seen a little bit of it. I like. There's some stuff that I really like. I think it's more the name for me. Like,
oh, that bugs you? Yeah.
Just the xanthic, because once I hear it, I automatically think black and white.
Yeah.
It's just not my thing.
Yeah.
You know? But everyone has their own thing, so you can't get mad about it.
Right.
It's a great thing about this hobby. You can find whatever you want.
For sure. Yeah. So this is a pretty cool animal. I don't know. No, I'll put her away real quick.
Here. What's up? Thank you guys for joining us. We're just kind of having a little hangout, catching up with Adam. I honestly haven't been the best friend that I could be. I haven't stayed in touch enough. So I was like, hey, you want to come on here? And we're just kind of hanging out, catching up on old times, talking shit to each other, talking about animals, kind of what we do in this hobby. And then I get quiet every time he puts his headphones in, so he doesn't know the shit that I just said. I'll have to go back and watch.
You talking shit? And then this is from the clutch that shut out just previously before that one. And this was the leopard pinstripe desert ghost to the Mojave girl. So this is what I believe to be a leopard pinstripe Mojave het desert ghost.
That's pretty, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
Not pretty cool.
Oh yeah. That's great. Yeah. That's not a bad start to a year, sir.
Hey, thanks, man. Yeah, two pretty good clutches so far. So we'll see. Hey, babe.
Just coming to help you.
Oh, put them away?
Yeah.
Oh, thanks.
Aw. Thanks, Heather.
Yeah. That stuff. So Desert Ghost this year making all the hets. And then do have some visual clutches coming out too. Had a girl ovulate, probably like a huge fat ovulation little over a week ago. So should hopefully be expecting something soon from her. She's a lemon blast het desert ghost, and she was bred to the hypo desert ghost. So should get some visual desert ghost lemon blasts that are also het hypo.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hope so. I'm sitting here. So I'm really bad with the calculations after ovulation. Like I know within the 30-day window of when they're gonna lay, but it's kind of like this stupid guessing game. So I'm that little kid at Christmas, like,
oh,
are they here? Are they here?
I'm the exact same way. Every time I walk by the tub, I just crack it a little bit. I'm like, nope. All right.
But I have my GHI girl. She's getting ready to lay finally. She's swollen. She nested. Like all the signs are there. She hasn't dropped yet. And she was paired to one of my clown boys. I'm super excited about that too, because I finally, once I get some size on my newest pickup,
Awesome.
can move single gene clown males out and have something to replace them with. So
Yeah, heck yeah.
it's kind of weird how it works, but it's exciting once it starts in motion. You know,
Once the ball starts rolling, yeah.
Yeah, definitely a little bit longer than I wish it would have been, but it's cool to see it happen, man.
Yeah.
What was kind of that point for you? Like when you started your breeding projects, how long did you hold on to do you still have some of your original female breeders?
For sure. Yeah. I still have
how long did it take you to start like interchanging?
I mean, I still have the original albino het xanthic that produced the very first snows. She'll never go anywhere. She's kind of a part of the family now, so she's not going anywhere. The very first snake that I bought, she sold to me as a female, turned out to be a male. So he'll stay though, just because he's sentimental as well. But a lot of that first clutch, I only have one animal from that very first original clutch, and that was a snow male. Everything else I sold or gave away to friends. And then my Russo to Russo clutch, I have the original female still. But that entire first clutch I sold. Everything. Yes. Yeah. I don't have anything from that original clutch, actually, now that I think back at it. So, and the reason why I kept her again was just because I haven't really worked a ton with the Russo, but I would like to work a little more with it. So I just kind of kept her back as like a hat maker. So I bred the Sterling Puzzle male that I have to her this year. Fingers crossed she'll go. She's looking like she may. She's been bull wrapping and hanging out on that side of the tub a lot lately. So that should be kind of cool, getting to see some Russo puzzles. So for me, I mean, it wasn't until probably the last 2 years that I started kind of swapping out females, like produce something, hold back, swap out the female with either what I just produced or buy something else or something like that. Before that, it was literally just accumulating the amount of snakes that I wanted to have to be able to kind of, do different projects and two, I keep underestimating the amount of males that I need, because I just hold back females and males. I'm kind of whatever. And then breeding season's coming around. I'm like, oh crap. I have so many females, but not enough males. What did I do again? So word of advice, don't hoard all your females, and I'll probably do it with these last two clutches. Who am I lying? I'm probably going to keep all the females. And, yeah.
It's okay. You could put one male to 20 females, right? I heard that's okay.
I need an ultrasound.
And they only need to be 300 grams. You're good.
Yeah.
They'll be solid.
Okay.
Oh, bad advice. I'm going to get some hate from that. I can already hear it. Oh, well. So you said you need to get an ultrasound, so you still palpate or?
Yeah, palpate. And, I don't really trust myself palpating. I don't think I'm very accurate with it until it's obvious anybody would know that they're gravid and going to drop a clutch, So for me, it's mainly watching their behavior, how they're eating, different things like that. So, yeah.
Nice.
And I would like to get the ultrasound to fine tune and not waste the males. You know what I mean? Because right now it's just kind of a shotgun approach. It's October time. You go in this week to this snake. Okay, next week, this snake, and then the process just kind of keeps going. You know what I mean? And I'd rather fine tune that and say, okay, this female oh, you're hitting about 18 millimeters. Okay, great. Let's start pumping a male into you a little bit more. Or oh, you're not doing anything. I don't need to waste my time with you. I'll go over to this side instead.
Right. No, that frustrates me kind of. Like I don't know how to explain it. Like it's a little weird for me because I've been talking to some people that have used an ultrasound for so long. They say that they really only pair like maybe 4 times.
Right.
And it's like how are you producing? Like
Yeah.
I throw this damn male in so much. How are you producing eggs with only? But I understand it because of the science of it. But it's a frustrating thing. But I guess because of my mentorship and the way that my mentor was taught, is just kind of like get the palpation stuff down first, and then you can jump to it. So I don't know. I'm a little bitter against ultrasounds.
Well, I mean, it's a tool, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's not required, obviously, right? Like the ball pythons out in the wild don't check in with some dude with an ultrasound and
am I pregnant?
Right? Like, did it work? Like, it's
do I need to go again? Tell me I need to go again. Shit, I gotta find more rats to eat.
Right. So and breeders have been breeding snakes well before ultrasounds were a thing for the normal Joe out there. So it can be done, and probably good advice. The tools that you use should never make you lose connection with your animals, right? So if you're buying the tool just so you could say, well, I do this so I don't have to pay attention, you're probably not learning anything in the process, and really you're only going to harm yourself down the line because you're not going to have as good of knowledge as somebody else, right, who's maybe paid attention a little bit more. So I don't know. For myself, I want to get it. I've been doing it now long enough where, I feel like I know what I'm doing with palpation, but I haven't been really consistent. So maybe this will help me learn to palpate, actually, right? Because I'll hit it with the ultrasound, I'll see it, run my finger, and then I'll be like, oh, actually what I was feeling was the right thing, right? So, could help me out both ways.
I like that mindset.
Yeah.
And I think one of the good things about it is, like, obviously it takes the stress down on the animals because you're not putting them together as much. But on the flip side of that, I kind of see it as this isn't my required revenue. You know what I mean? Like, this is fun revenue. This is whatever. Shit, I haven't. Well, I mean, I've sold a couple, but you know what I mean? Like, I can't even really say that I've really sold anything because I haven't pushed much. But it's not a requirement. So if I fudge up and I don't get a girl to go, it's not the end of the world for me. It sets me back another year, but at the end of the day, I'm not doing this for livelihood at this point. Not saying that I won't, because I'll probably get bored one day and try to push it. That's just me. Like, when I jump into something, I usually dive head first. Mama can tell you that 100% of the time. I get yelled at about everything I get excited for. But
I'm the same way. I feel you on that. Oh, man.
But that's the nice thing about it, is there's no pressure. So if we produce, we produce. If we don't, hey, it's okay. It's next year.
Same here. Yeah, this isn't my daily job. I mean, maybe at some point it will be. But for right now, I like you doing it for fun. I do have enough animals and have put enough money into it, though, that I would like to start getting some of those tools to fine tune what I'm doing. Like you said, relieve some stress on some of the males, and maybe learn something in the process too. So, yep.
I don't know if Heather's still in the chat. I kind of hope she's not.
I haven't seen her in a while.
Okay. I'm going to say it's probably safe. If you could feel totally unobligated to answer this question. What's the most you've spent so far on an investment animal?
On a single animal, it was probably with the orange ghost stripe super dwarf that I bought from Garrett. Yeah, that was a good chunk of change. I got him plus a golden child pos het orange ghost stripe and some snow males or some pos het snow females. All around, that was like a little over 10 G's.
Oh.
So
say her name and she shows up.
Right. Oh, as if I don't know how much. And that's, that's definitely, I don't hide any of that stuff from Heather, especially on the big purchases, big investments, totally out in the open, up front with what's going on.
No, I had to do the same with my wife, especially with that pastel monarch girl that I picked up. And
yeah, that's a gorgeous snake, man.
Did you seriously drop that much money on a snake? And I was like, well, yeah, but it wasn't all at once. It was in payments. Does that make you feel better?
How our minds work. I did it in payments. Right? It's much better.
But it's safe because it means she didn't feel it. Like, she was still able to shop. All bills were still paid. Everything was good.
Right. That's the most important thing.
She had her play money. I used my play money.
Right. There you go.
Maybe a little bit over my play money for every month, but I still did it.
Yeah. I mean, cool. Heather's pretty cool. I definitely lucked out as far as wives of reptile keepers. I've heard some stories out there, dudes have to hide purchases, or I've been at reptile shows before and somebody's like, oh, I'll pay you through PayPal, but can it say this in the invoice? Sure, yeah, no problem.
No, it's not
whatever you need. But Heather and I don't really operate like that, and she loves the animals too. So it's benefit for me.
Hell yeah. So let's let's dive into the super dwarf a little bit. What initially caught your eye with it, or what made you decide to go from ball pythons into the world of super dwarfs? Because retics are, well, I'm not going to say they're not easy to handle, but they're definitely not the easiest to handle until you get them to a certain point.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. I've always liked the reticulated pythons. I didn't really know much about the super dwarfs when I was first getting into snakes. So I had no idea that it was possible to get a retic that wasn't going to be 16, 20 feet, long type of thing. So once I learned about them, started researching them a lot more, I was really excited that package of snake comes in a little smaller size, right? Something that's a little more manageable. So I always wanted to get them once I saw them. And I haven't really found that. I mean, yeah, they're a little bit flighty, right? Mm-hmm. But I'll tell you what, like a mean ball python is worse than a super dwarf. It is, because they're derpy. A ball python's derpy. They just start flopping their body, and every once in a while that head will come back and whip you, right? The retics, they have a purpose. So if they're heat-seeked onto you and they're going to bite you, you know it. And hopefully you could try and turn. You could do some things. Right. But it's not one of these derpy freaking snake attacks that you're just like, where the God? You're like, you just bit me on the elbow. How did you do that? Like, it's
so that's the way you explained freaking ball pythons is how my boa constrictor was. Like, she has this thing, man. Like, if she doesn't have like 3/4 of her body supported, she just she loses her mind and thinks that she's not safe, and she's
right.
just
Yeah, they
and you're talking about a freaking probably 20-pound snake just like flailing everywhere. You're like, kids, go away.
right.
I don't know what's about to happen here. Luckily she's over being bred down, and hopefully it's nice and calm for those people. Oh Lord.
Yeah, so for me, man, I don't really. The retics are smart. When I look at them, they're figuring things out. When you hold them, even when they're a little ticked off, they're still trying to figure things out, right? Like they don't lose their mind really. Like,
Right.
I mean, they will lose their mind and come after you, but it's on purpose, and they have a goal, and that is to try and bite you, right? The ball pythons, they're too dumb. They just freaking it's everywhere.
That's the next thing that needs to happen. There needs to be like a cartoon skit of what you're explaining, right? That needs to be the intro. Like find someone that does animation and make an intro.
There you go.
The derpiness of a ball python.
Well, yeah, like the animation YouTube software.
Mhm.
Like,
That's right. This is Adam. Adam has ball pythons. Adam's ball pythons are derpy, and then they flail everywhere and bite you on the elbow. Don't be like Adam's ball pythons.
Oh man.
Heck yeah. So do you ever plan on breeding super dwarfs, or is that strictly just like a collection thing? Or
No, I definitely do plan on breeding them. The 2 Kalatoa Madu girls that I got from Garrett, those are about ready now. They're let's see, just over 4 years old now. I'm gonna say, yeah, they're just over 4. And the male, he's about 2.5 years old, so they're ready. I got to talk with Garrett. Got to get some advice from him on the temperature lowering and cycles and things like that, and then give it a shot. So I think this coming season will be my first attempt at breeding super dwarfs.
nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right? Throwing some hognose in the derp crew is complete. For sure. And sand boas. I mean, sand boas do win.
Those things look so funny.
Snakes. You don't know what ends the front. They both look the same. The ass end and the head, identical. You have no idea.
And isn't that the one with like both their eyes are like so close, right on the top of their head?
Yeah, they look like they're purposely cross-eyed. Like, I do love the patterns, and they are pretty cool. I'm totally not crapping all over, Most drippy sticks.
Oh man.
Oh yeah, see, that's these for sure. The Kenyan, 100%. The king of derps. There was a really mean one at a reptile show, which is hilarious because sand boas, you don't even know if they're alive half the time. Like, you're like, is my snake dead or alive? No, it's alive. It just hasn't moved in like 36 hours. Don't worry about it. It's cool. Right. And so I think it was over at Treacherous Creatures, the OG for the sand boas. And he was showing this lady this sand boa, and right when she goes, "Are sand boas nice?" I look at her and I'm about to be like, yeah, I've never seen somebody get bit by one. This snake literally just goes crunk and latches right onto her hand. And she's just like, I think it's biting me. I'm like, you think, or what's going on? I look at it, for sure bit. And she goes, yeah, but it's like, it doesn't know what it's doing, I don't think. Like, this lady wasn't a snake lady. She was just like, this snake is retarded. It's not biting me the right way. Oh man,
That's too good. Okay. So what's coming up in your future besides breeding super dwarfs?
Still definitely doing ball python projects. Shifting really into double recessives and recessives big time. Puzzle will be a main staple to that, and then I'll add Desert Ghost and lavender, hypo, obviously, things like that. And then we're doing projects here at the house. I got to build some kitchen cabinets. Hopefully lumber prices will come back to
That's going to be a
something.
no, Shane.
What did Shane say?
Sean
Bradley interview part 2.
I'm going to happily allow Kathleen to retain the title of longest podcast ever.
How long was it?
The last one she did, I think, was just short of 9 hours.
9 hours.
They called me at hour 5 when they surpassed ours. And then I went to bed for about 3 hours and woke up and started taking care of animals because I was exhausted for the day. And I got a text from, I forget who it was. I want to say it was Nathan Katz. And he's like, dude, they're about to shatter the record. You need to log on. I was like, there's no fucking way they're still alive. And it was like 8 hours. Yeah, it was like eight hours when he hit me up on that. And I was like,
dude,
you gotta be free.
That's a long time.
There's so many bad jokes and so many bad things that happen in that podcast.
Oh, I'm sure. 8 hours, 45
It's so
minutes.
good though. So good.
Oh, that's too funny.
There's like an hour-long video worth of just drunken Cusco shenanigans. But
nice.
So yeah, California's kind of talking about opening up. Rami's talking about running the show in July.
Newsom?
Who'd
you say?
Rami.
Oh, Rami for the Pomona show?
For the super shows.
Yeah. Sorry. I thought you said Mitt Romney.
No.
I was like, you mean Newsom? Yeah. That's who our governor is.
I don't
going all political.
I don't pay attention to California politics. Sorry. Joy of not living there. I don't have to.
Right.
Not that I pay attention to politics very much anymore anyways. Like the important stuff, yeah. But
I feel you.
So he's trying to open up the shows again. Do you think there's going to be a change in the shows? Like, I don't know how California is kind of really handling things right now. I feel like you guys are still pretty much closed. Like, or are you at like 50% or kind of what's going on?
I don't even really know partially. Like, I mean, we're kind of open. Like there are restaurants. You can go into most restaurants and you have to wear your mask while you walk in. But the second you sit down at the table, you can take it off. I think there's a magic COVID barrier the second I sit down at the table or something. I don't know. So yeah, it's pervious to COVID once you sit down, I think, or something.
Once there's food at your table, the heat that's radiating off your food magically kills it.
I knew it had to make sense. Thanks, John. That makes me feel a lot better. So
that's what El Paso's doing still too.
Yeah, so we're kind of partially open. I don't really know what Rami's gonna do with the show or what they're gonna. I don't know, man. I'll go. I definitely want to go, and I'll support it. You know what I'm saying? Even if I got to wear a stupid mask all around, I'll support it. So
I mean, I'm going one way or another. It's been too long since I've been to a show.
Arlington looked like a lot of fun. Though. Whatever, you were just in Arlington.
Well, I mean, like a California show, like a super show. It's been too long since I've been to a super show. I just said show, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
I fucked that one up. But I think it's been just over 2 years because I think the last one was when you brought me out in 19.
Yeah. It was that. Yeah, it was 19, I believe. Right.
And then I almost got kicked out the first night. And it was a great time.
From the hotel?
Yeah. Me and Joel and freaking Riley. We're sitting in the lobby with an open bottle of Patron after the bar closed, and the hotel didn't quite appreciate it.
Oh, they didn't like that?
No, so Riley ended up corking the Patron and sitting on it and being like, what bottle? I don't know what bottle you're talking about.
Right.
And he's like, I got to go to my room, guys. It's time for bed.
Yeah.
See him like,
Good old
the
Riley.
hotel didn't appreciate us that night.
Yeah, they deal with us quite fine. We bring in quite a bit of money. Yeah, but we definitely abuse the hell out of the grounds. Like, oh, it's good time though. I'm gonna miss that venue when he goes back down to the Anaheim area. I didn't really like the Anaheim venue as much. I don't know. Like the inside, I like better, but like all the outside and what's around, I think I like Pomona a little more.
Is it just for extra space, or was it to kind of?
Well,
Do you think it was kind of for marketing, or what do you think it was?
oh, I think he got pushed out of Pomona. As I think loosely what I heard the rumor was like they came to him and said, "Hey, I know you book this at this weekend normally, but we've got a bigger show that we would rather book. We need you to move it." It was something like that. I just don't think they were appreciating his business very much, and so he took it to another venue. That would be me placing words in his mouth. It's just rumors that I've heard,
Right.
so I don't know if that's for sure, but something like that. I don't know. I think Pomona was a good location. Anaheim is, I think, a better centrally located place. You know what I mean? It's you got South can come, Central comes. So I don't know. Pomona's a little bit further for the Southern people. I don't know.
No, I mean I can understand it. I've never been to Anaheim. Well, I've driven through it. I've never stopped there. But I really enjoyed the Pomona venue, kind of like you.
Me too. Yeah.
It's kind of right at the perfect size for me. And then if you need an escape, once you get outside of the venue and you're kind of in that what is it, the
fairgrounds.
Yeah, the fairground complex.
Uh-huh.
There's all kinds of nature. There's all kinds of neat stuff you can look at. There's really cool vendors at other stuff.
Yeah.
So it's just interesting to see what all is going on there too.
Yeah, the all animal show. Did you ever go to that? When
I never made it to an all animal show.
No. That was pretty cool there at the Pomona location because they bring in dogs, cats. They've got like dolphins. They bring in a whole pool and they have dolphins. And yeah, it's absolute mayhem. There's like tons of people everywhere. It's pretty cool.
I don't even know. I feel like that would be like a battle royale almost. Like,
right.
You have your crazy cat people,
dude,
your dog people, your reptile people, your fish people.
100%.
Oh,
yeah, it was all of us coming together.
Oh yeah. That's awesome. So hopefully we'll see you in Pomona.
Oh yeah, buddy. It'll happen.
If I can I'm gonna get my lazy ass out there. I'll be out there. I'll see.
Yeah. You gotta
Even if
out.
I have to wear a mask 24/7, I'll be out there.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy thing is like Texas is open, but I'm in probably not to speak politics, but I'm in like probably the second most liberal city in Texas.
Right.
So they're still treating Texas as if it's like 25% open.
Right.
And you go like I travel an hour east and you get looked at funny if you're wearing a mask.
A mask.
Dude, I have to wear a mask everywhere I go in my hometown right now. Like, sorry.
Yeah.
Thanks for telling me. It's not coming out of my back pocket now. I've been on the road for hours anyway, so I really don't want to pull it out anyways. It's probably not going to smell the best. But,
yeah, a lot of my team
at
my day job works in Dallas, and they were saying the same thing. Like, it's open there. It's pretty cool, but they went up to like El Paso area, and it's still not. New Mexico's not. Like all that. Who knows?
So you have your breeding. You have Pomona. Are you ever going to branch out besides Tinley? Like, are you going to try to hit the Phoenix shows or Vegas shows or
Well,
I'm
I
gonna
mean,
force you out to Arlington because
Arlington. No,
I'm gonna
that's for
eventually
sure
force you
happening.
out.
My buddy's memorial was the same weekend as the Slash show, or I was probably gonna go, but Arlington for sure is happening. Got to get back out there to that area, say what's up to some people. I mean, probably do Phoenix just because it's, you know, short drive. Joel lives out there, so go out see him, do a show. Sacramento, like Mrs. BeachBum was saying in chat, that's a great. I know it's still California, but it feels like a separate state because it's way up there. But you know, Sacramento's cool. Daytona, I got to do that one. You know, I got to do it. So
that, what was it? I think it was 2019 too, right? When I came and visited you for your birthday. Pretty sure.
Yeah. Or yes, I believe so. Yeah.
That was the longest 2 days of my life. I literally spanned from Pomona all the way up to Sacramento and back down to fly the next evening. So I saw you. I had dinner.
Yeah.
We had a couple beers. Celebrated your birthday. Went up, saw Brian. Stayed at his place overnight. Went up to Sacramento. And
then drove all the way back home, right? To come back.
No. And then I drove all the way back down to Pomona because
that's what I meant to say. Yeah.
Flight was out of Pomona.
Oh my God. And
then went to Laredo and went on another. I'm so glad I don't have that. Well, I mean, I kind of miss it. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of miss it because you had the solitude and you just had the life on the road, and it was very much you're just your own boss and you get to see everything, which is kind of cool. But
right.
Good the hours and the hours and the work that you had to put into it, just it's easier to do this. Daytona would be a definite. I want to hit the what is it? The Show Me. I forget what they call it. Show Me Snakes show or something like that.
I don't know about that one.
So it's like it's a Missouri show, and it's starting to pick up a lot of traction as well. And I have a buddy that lives like right in between St. Louis and Kansas City, and they always switch the venues back and forth. But I think that's like they do a show like every 3 months.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I just pulled them up. St. Louis, Missouri, Paducah, Kentucky, Janesville, Wisconsin. Huh. That's cool. Right on.
But
yeah, there are so many shows popping up. I'm stoked about it. More and more people we can get into the hobby, the better for everybody, you know, make it more mainstream. The laws that were passed out in Florida, you know, that's what happens when you allow fear to dictate regulations. And it's just really unfortunate that fear seems to be what drives a lot of the decisions that are being made now. So we as a community, the more shows we have, the more we can show people we're normal for the most part, you know.
You might want to choose your words.
For the most part, we're normal. But
most of us are.
Right. You know, and these animals there's no difference, you know, wanting to have a snake as there is wanting to own a dog or something like that, right? So we all need to do our part and donate to USARK. You know.
Absolutely. Get your membership, donate, do your thing.
Oh yeah, that's right. European trip next year. We were going to do it because I just had my 40th just recently, and that was supposed to be the Europe trip, but good old COVID. So next year,
it'll happen. Gotta be patient with it.
For sure.
So, what's kind of your pinnacle clutch for this year?
Well, I don't know. I don't want to jinx anything. So if I only have to count the 2 clutches that I've had so far, the double het clutch.
Good stuff. Good stuff. All right.
So yeah, probably that one. Let's see. Because like this year I'm making a lot of hat stuff, so I'm not making a ton of visual stuff. So it's kind of building the blocks for next year.
Right.
But I mean, in all honesty, actually Heather's female snake, if she goes, it's a VPI Xanthic spinner blast bred to Hypo Desert Ghost. So triple hats coming out of that.
I think that's
what.
Can you hear that?
Oh, is that the baby?
Oh yeah, the baby's angry. He's like, Dad, it's bedtime.
It's an hour, 10 minutes. Let me.
Oh man. All right.
All righty, bud.
That's my cue. Guys, give Adam some love. Adam, shout your stuff out. And I will get his IG, and I don't think you have Facebook, do you?
I deactivated my Facebook, so I'm anti-Facebook right now.
Decision.
But I am on Instagram, BeachBum Xotics, no E, just X, because I'm cool. Yeah.
You were like one of the first people to do that.
In reality, it's because a dang freaking sun tanning place up in like Michigan. It's got BeachBum Xotics with an E. Those guys. And I reached out and asked if I could buy the domain name, and the guy said no. So yeah.
Like, you're just a tanning salon. You're not gonna go anywhere.
Yeah, I know, right? You suck. No, I'm joking.
All right, brother. Thanks for giving us some of your time today, guys. Go give him some love. This is actually, I guess I might as well spill the beans. This is my last interview for a while. I'm going to go back to a strictly vlog format for a little while, just because it's easier for what I'm about to do and my family. And then later on down the road, we will probably pick these up again. But Adam, I want to very much thank you. I don't think I could have ended it with a better friend.
Well, thanks, man. Appreciate it. Honored to be on here. So thank you.
Thank you guys for enjoying these. And yeah, we're going to go ahead and call it a night. We'll see you next week with whatever craziness I come up with. Ooh. Maybe I'll have eggs by then. Who knows? All right. Y'all have a great night and stay blessed.
See you guys.